And welcome to Global Leadership Competency Film. Yeah, I believe everyone before me were fantastic. I don't know, but I had to say that. Uh, During this video, if you sense that there is an accent in the voice, then I'm really sorry. I can't really help it. It's just my contact center voice, which is different to what I usually speak face to face. And yeah, trust me, even if I do this again and again, it will still be the same. So anyways, let's start with the film. I've chosen four countries, which are Japan, Germany, United States of America, and Australia. uh, I've tried to identify what the work culture would be like, and so it basically divides between the current problems and the solutions to it. And let's directly have a look at the global leadership profile which I have. So if you look at the profile, it's clear that I'm more of an indirect person, and yeah, most of you who know me would say the same. I've had major problems trying to be direct. Other than that, I'm exactly at the center when it comes to independent or taking risks, so which was not unusual at all. So yeah, I would always try to evaluate the risk, and I would only choose the decisions when I know that I'm gonna succeed. With I'm very much focused on relationships. It's more than so I value people more than the tasks. And yeah, that's so I 100% agree with what the test score is. So, and yeah, let's now directly move from Mumbai to Australia, Melbourne. Yeah, that's like the least interesting thing I've ever done. So yeah, moving to, if you look at the comparison between Australia and my profile, the Australians and my profile, you'll see Australians are more to the left hand side of the graph, and I'm kind of in the middle at some points. And when it comes to relationships and being indirect, I to the right hand side. There are a few major differences between the Australians and myself. Australians are more free, more independent, they are more direct. So how do we uh, and how do we deal with them is, so yeah, basically what's important is you have a casual conversations even before the meeting, or even as soon as you meet someone, you respond to their question and you just don't ignore them. Yeah, understand it. Second thing what you do is you give people their own space. So I remember a conversation I had with the manager yesterday when she was actually apologizing, saying yeah, why she didn't accept my friend request on Facebook. Yeah, it's I understood that, yeah, they want to keep their personal and the work life separate. When it comes to meetings or office culture, they have a laid back attitude, but that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that they don't have a strong work ethic. They are very particular when it comes to rules, regulations, and especially when it comes to time. I understand most of the Indians are not really good at time management, but yeah, Australians are very strict on time. Is you get yourself involved in community activities, and also after work drinks. Yes, they usually party every Friday. So yes, now let's move to Berlin, Germany from Melbourne, Australia. So yeah, oh, this actually looks like a weird dance pose. Yeah, so yeah, when it comes to Germans and my own profile, you would see we exactly opposite when it comes to people. More people oriented, and they're more task oriented, more direct. uh, yeah, as you can see, that's one of the major differences as well. Yeah, when if you're dealing with the Germans, you make sure your tone is more direct and more assertive, and you have to have an opinion of what's happening around. And football is such a big thing over there. It's always good to support a local team, and if you have a hobby, it's best you join a club. And yeah, as mentioned, they are more focused on individual work, like the people at States, and less focused on teamwork. Best is to try to learn the German language. it's always best if you can communicate in the German language, and not use English. They are kind of against the English language, and yes, more focused on the process rather than focused on the customers and the customer service. And let's now move to land of Donald Trump. So yeah, when it comes to the difference between the Americans and my own profile is they're more task oriented like the Germans, not really people oriented. But when it comes to a difference between the Germans and the Americans is the Americans are more focused on the customer service rather than the process. Yep, so with all my yes, as I've worked for American companies before, and it's really important that you establish clear set of rules at the beginning of the project, and yeah, you have to be assertive and direct. It's not sugarcoating things is not going to help. It's actually going to frustrate them more. You have to listen to everything they say very carefully, because often is the case, and I think that's the general rule as well. Listening is very important. Often the answers to their own question, it actually is with them. They just want to hear a different opinion. Yes, like the Australians as well, there has to be a line between the personal and their work life. Even though they would love to work in teams, but they would still focus on their own individual tasks first and then the teamwork. So yes, also they expect that your thoughts and your views are modern and not traditional, and they change after time, change with time. And now yeah, let's move to the fourth country, Japan. And I think Japanese culture is I think the Japanese culture is kind of similar to the Indian culture when it comes to valuing people more. Yeah, as you can see over here, it's important that you build relationships, you take your clients out even after work. Not like the line there's usually there is a line between personal and work life, but the clients expect more from you. Even though they're open cubicles, you would still be expected to follow hierarchy and respect your seniors. That's really important. Longer meetings, so yeah, you have to be ready with a detailed plan and a thorough risk analysis, as they're not really known to take more risks. It's very important that you understand the Japanese culture. Usually with Australians or Americans, it's okay if you're not really focused on that. And lastly, yes, no sugar-coated sentences as well. Direct communication. They're kind of lenient towards mistakes, which is something the people from States are not. So, and that's about it. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it and understand what's written. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Goodbye. Yep, and you can start clapping now. Thank you.